May 34, Senior Systems Architect. Essentially the janitor of the internet for a mid-sized fintech firm. Company processes about $50 m in transactions daily. Infrastructure is my baby. Built the backend from scratch 6 years ago using C++ and pure hatred. Code is lean, mean, and undocumented because nobody else can understand the pointer arithmetic anyway. Work in the basement server room. Ambient temperature 62 degrees. Ambient noise, hum of cooling fans, and the gentle weeping of the junior devs upstairs. Life is good. Paid $250K to keep the green lights blinking. Show up at 10 a.m., leave at 4 p.m. Nobody questions me because uptime is 99.999%. Old boss was a boomer named Greg. Greg didn't know a python from a cobra, but he knew I made the money printer go brrr. Greg retires to Florida to fight alligators. Enter the void. New CEO wants to modernize corporate culture. Board hires external director of engineering and cultural synergy. Red flags immediately going up like a communist parade. Title alone costs the company $150K a year in wasted productivity. First all-hands meeting. Enter Melissa. Mid-30s, glasses distinctively chosen to look intellectual but fierce. Intro speech is 40 minutes long. 0 mentions of latency, throughput, or security. 400 mentions of inclusivity, equity, toxic tech culture, and breaking the glass ceiling. She announces that the engineering department is too homogeneous. Looks directly at the row of pale, socially awkward guys in hoodies who literally keep the bank accounts secure. We are going to disrupt the patriarchal coding standards that have held this company back. I sip my lukewarm coffee. Logic center of brain failing to compute how Boolean logic can be patriarchal. Ones and zeros don't care about your gender studies degree, Melissa. Return to basement. Put on noise-canceling headphones. Ignore the impending apocalypse. 2 weeks later. Receive calendar invite. 1 synergy alignment Melissa Anon. Accept JPG. Walk into her office. Smells like lavender and aggressive HR violations. She doesn't offer a seat. Anon, I've been reviewing the Git logs. Surprise exe. Didn't think she knew what Git was. I noticed you're the primary contributor to the core payment gateway. Yes, I wrote it. It's very aggressive. Excuse-me, Wev. Aggressive, it's a low-latency transaction processor. The comments, you use terms like master-slave for the database replication and kill-child process. Those are standard industry terms, Melissa. They are violent, exclusionary terms rooted in oppression. I want them gone. You want me to refactor the entire legacy codebase to change variable names? That will break every API dependency we have. Code is poetry, Anon. It shapes reality. We cannot build a feminist future on a foundation of slave terminology. Rub temples. Melissa, if I grep and replace master with main and slave with replica in the compiled binaries and the source without a full regression test, the transaction ledger will desync. We will lose money. She smiles condescendingly. The smile you give a toddler who doesn't understand why he can't eat the batteries. That's the kind of gatekeeping attitude I was warned about. You prioritize technical stability over human dignity. Fix it by Friday. I need that in writing. Why don't you trust female leadership? I trust logs. Send me the email. Receive email. Subject action required. Decolonizing the codebase. Content is 3 paragraphs of buzzwords about how language creates violence. Operational order, replace all non-inclusive terminology immediately. Prioritize this over the Q3 optimization patch. Malicious compliance in it. Spend 3 days doing a global find and replace on a sandbox clone. Change master slave to leader follower. Change blacklist whitelist to denalist/allowlist. Change abort to cease. Change dummy value to placeholder value. Apparently dummy is ableist. Compile. 4032 errors. Send report to Melissa. Refactoring complete on test branch. System is non-functional. Dependencies in third-party libraries hard-coded to original terms. Cannot proceed without rewriting the entire Linux kernel. She calls me into her office. She is fuming. You're doing this on purpose to make me look bad. I am doing exactly what you asked. The computer is just being a bigot, apparently. She slams hand on desk. Fines, leave the legacy code, but all new code must adhere to the feminist coding manifesto I am publishing today. She hands me a pamphlet, printed on recycled paper. Rule 1, variables should be descriptive and emotive, not cryptic. Rule 2, functions should be collaborative, not command-oriented. Rule 3, no more forcing updates. We request the system to accept changes. I nod. Understood. Can I go back to work? One more thing, we're hiring 3 new junior devs. I picked them myself from a girls who code fast-track boot camp. I need you to mentor them. Do they know C++? They know Python and HTML, and they have excellent soft skills. You could learn from them. This is a C++ shop, Melissa. Python is for scripting, not high-frequency trading. Teach them, or are you saying women can't learn C++? Trap card activated. Not at all, send them down. Meet the new hires. Becky, Jessica, and Chloe. Blue hair, purple hair, green hair. Look like the Powerpuff Girls if they were addicted to Twitter. Nice enough kids, actually. Completely unqualified. So what IDE do you guys use? Becky asks. Vim, I say. Is that like V's Code? Internal scream. Spend 2 months trying to explain memory management to people who think garbage collection is a literal sanitation service. Meanwhile, Melissa is rampant. She institutes daily stand-ups that take 90 minutes. We pass around a talking stick. We have to share our emotional state before we share our code status. I'm feeling anxious because the linter was harsh to me, says Chloe. Melissa nods empathetically. Thank you for your vulnerability, Chloe. The linter is a tool of patriarchal perfectionism. We should configure it to be more accepting of alternative syntax. Look at camera like Jim Halpert. Melissa, if the syntax is wrong, the code doesn't run. That's a binary way of thinking, Anon. We need to embrace a spectrum of correctness. I stop arguing. I start documenting. Every email. Every Slack message. Every commit log. I save them to an encrypted external drive. The vault. The incident approaches. Black Friday is coming. Highest traffic day of the year. Usually we enter a code freeze 2 weeks prior. No changes. Stability is God. Melissa calls an emergency meeting. I have a vision. Oh no. We are going to launch a new feature on Black Friday, ethical tipping. What? When a user makes a transaction, a pop-up will ask them to donate the rounded-up change to a fund for underrepresented digital creators. Melissa, we are in code freeze. Touching the transaction logic now is suicide. You're being dramatic. The new girls wrote the module. It's ready. Look at Becky, Jessica, and Chloe. They look terrified. We tested it on localhost, Jessica whispers. Localhost is not production, I say, voice flat. It's Python, Becky adds. The core is C++, how are you bridging it? We wrote a wrapper, Chloe says proudly. It intercepts the transaction packet, unpacks it, calculates the tip, and repacks it. Horror PNG. You are introducing latency into a high-frequency trading block. You are unpacking encrypted packets in user space memory. That's a security violation of PCI DSS standards. Melissa stands up. Enough, you are gatekeeping again. You are intimidated because these junior women built a feature in 2 weeks that you've been too busy to implement. I haven't implemented it because it's illegal and dangerous. I am the director, you are the architect. Build the bridge, deploy the feature. Friday, 8 a.m. I refuse to sign off on this. Then I'll sign off on it, and I'll note your insubordination in your performance review. I need you to send me an email explicitly stating that you are overriding my security veto and authorizing the deployment of unvetted code during a code freeze. Fine, I'll send it in anon. Yes. Check your privilege. Receive email. As Director of Engineering, I authorize the deployment of the ethical tipping module. I acknowledge Anon's concerns and dismiss them as obstructionist. This project is a priority for our DEI initiatives. Print email. Frame it mentally. Go to server room. Configure the deployment pipeline. Usually I would stay up all night monitoring the logs. Usually I would write a rollback script. Usually I would set up a redundant failover. Not this time. Melissa said trust the process. Melissa said stop micromanaging the female devs. Okay. I set the deployment for 8:00 a.m. Friday. I turn off my phone. I go home. I open a bottle of 18-year-old scotch. I wait. Black Friday. 8:00 a.m. Deployment triggers automatically. 8:01 a.m. Traffic spikes. 8:02 a.m. The Python wrapper intercepts the first batch of 10,000 transactions. Python is interpreted. C++ is compiled. The speed difference is roughly the difference between a cheetah and a sloth on ketamine. The wrapper chokes. Memory leak in the emotional sentiment variable Chloe added. Buffer overflow. The transaction packets get corrupted. Data starts writing into the wrong memory addresses. 8:05 a.m. The database tries to reconcile the corrupted packets. Leader database panics. Tries to failover to follower. But wait. Melissa made us change the config files in the secondary system during the language audit, but we couldn't change the hard-coded binary. Handshake fails because follower is not slave. Replication breaks. Split brain scenario. Both databases think they are in charge. Both start writing conflicting data. 8:10 a.m. The system completely locks up. $500,000 in transactions are in limbo. Customers seeing transaction failed but money leaving their accounts. Phones start ringing. Not my phone though. My phone is off. I am making pancakes. 10:00 a.m. I stroll into the office. It looks like a scene from Titanic. People running with papers. Screaming. Becky is crying in the corner. Jessica is hyperventilating. Melissa is screaming at a monitor. Why isn't IT working? Reboot it. See me walk in. She sprints over. Eyes bloodshot, hair messy. Where have you been? The system is down. We are losing millions. I come in at 10 on Fridays. Fix it now. I can't. What do you mean you can't? You're the architect. I'm not the architect of asterisk that asterisk. Point to the error logs scrolling on the big screen. Segmentation fault, core dump, that's the Python wrapper. Just turn it off. I can't, it corrupted the database. The primary and secondary ledgers are out of sync. We have data corruption. If I turn it off now, that money simply vanishes. We have to manually reconcile the logs. How long will that take? Weeks, maybe months. CEO walks in. Big boss. Looks ready to murder someone. Melissa, explanation now. Melissa points a shaking finger at me. He did it. He sabotaged the project. He refused to help the junior team. He let this happen because he hates that I promoted women. CEO turns to me. Anand. I don't say a word. I open my laptop. Connect to the projector. Silence in the room. Open the Vault folder. Open emails. Open warnings PDF. Project the email from Tuesday. As director, I dismiss Anand's concerns. Authorize deployment, unvetted code. CEO reads it. Face turns purple. Then pale. Then purple again. Melissa, CEO says, voice dangerously quiet. Did you authorize a deployment during code freeze against the direct written warning of the senior architect? It was a diversity initiative. He was being difficult. He mansplained the risks. He explained the risks, CEO corrects, and you ignored them. The code was inclusive, she shrieks. It was supposed to empower creators. It just cost us $12 million in the last 2 hours, CEO says, and the regulatory fines for the PCI violation will likely double that. Melissa tries to rally. This is a hostile work environment. I am being scapegoated because I am a woman in power. I will sue. CEO looks at me. Anand, can you fix this? Maybe, but I need total autonomy, no synergy meetings, no language audits, and the Python wrapper goes into the trash. Done. And one more thing. Name it. I want my consulting rate. You're an employee. Not anymore. I pull out another document. My contract expired yesterday. I didn't renew because I anticipated this. I am currently a free agent. Absolute silence. Melissa's jaw hinges. You set me up, she screams. I warned you, I say calmly. You told me to check my privilege. I checked my contract instead. CEO looks at the burning servers. Looks at the weeping junior devs. Looks at Melissa. Looks at me. How much? $500 an hour, double for overtime, and I want a written apology from Melissa for the accusation of sabotage CC'd to the entire company. The aftermaths. Melissa was escorted out by security 20 minutes late, screaming about the patriarchy the whole way to the elevator. Becky, Jessica, and Chloe were actually decent kids, just badly led. I kept them on to fetch coffee and do HTML CSS update. Taught them SQL eventually, the real way, not the inclusive way. Took me 72 hours straight to rebuild the database shards. Slept under the desk. Restored the backup from my private, unauthorized cold storage drive. Company lost about $2M instead of $50M. CEO paid my invoice without blinking. Promoted to CTO. First order of business. Revert git changes. Git checkout master. Git reset hard head. The code is clean again. Comments are aggressive again. Kill child process. Master slave replication active. The server room hums. Temperature 62 degrees. Nature is healing. Check bank account. Number go up. Sip coffee. Life is good.